mà chất năng bằng sông cruông chiên rạch nhạc lên thiên sa mà kỳ cùng đất nia sông cruông bom ra ca bia Campuchia mai cầm rực nia tiêm tia sân sê ray ai kể riêng bờ nạp tiêm a thấp bà tay mai bà xây đô bà đánh thai rẽ xa mình oi bờ tinh chìm biến một đua ta song bằng đồn ta thâm thiên triệt Khmer rèn a tinh rèn bom lư Campuchia Khmer ai cái thêm kia đông dài pa nhà nhiều bài sẽ tinh song cũng ăn không xa sao quạt lại ca chi đẹp hiếm rùng rương đầy dương tu dương khô khó dương Khmer trong lan song cua chiên khai ra nào ở trong đầu âm lại chung đôi chia đang bay Campuchia rung rung xem xa chơi vô con nặng bạc song cua chiên mà chất cái năng bằng song cruông chiên rạch nhạc mây miên sa mà kỳ cùng đất nia sông cruông bom ra ca bia Campuchia mai cầm rực nia tiêm tia sân sê ray ai kể riêng bờ nạp tiêm a thấp bà tay mai bà xây đô bà đánh thai rẽ xa mình oi bờ tinh chìm biến một đua ta song bằng đồn ta thâm thiên triệt Khmer rèn a tinh rèn bom lư Campuchia Khmer ai cái thêm kia đông dài pa nhà nhiều bài sẽ tinh song cũng ăn không xa sao quạt lại ca chi đẹp hiếm rùng rương đầy dương tu dương khô khó dương Khmer trong lan song cruông chiên khai ra bỏ ngọt ở trong đầu âm na đến chun ra chia đang bay Campuchia rung rung xem san
And hello, thank you for joining our show. Welcome to CNRP America, Khmer Youth Voices for Justice. My name is Linda Wu. I am hosting live from Los Angeles, California. So thank you for joining our show again. Today is Tuesday, December 20, 2022. We almost at the end of the year. So hopefully 2022 been good to you. And also if I didn't get to see you or didn't get to I'm not going to be live on December 25th, so I want to wish our viewer happy Merry Christmas or happy holidays if you don't celebrate Christmas. But beside that, I hope your 2022 been great. Again, my name is Linda Wu. Thank you so much for being here. Our topic for today is we will look at 1 year into the Naga worker strike. So our topic is fighting for more than compensations, so worker rights. We will review what's going on, and if our audience or our viewers not familiar with what's going on in Cambodia, please join in, please comments, and hopefully you learn something. Again, this program is called Khmer Youth Voices for Justice. The main purpose of this show is to have the youth who live overseas able to speak English or understand only English, be able to understand basically what's going on in Cambodia. And each week is on Tuesday or Wednesday. If you are in Cambodia, our show speak only English, so I apologize for that. But our show in CNRP America, the other 6 day out of the week, the show is in Khmer. So please tune in. Please comment or anything that you want to see, you want to watch. So please tune in. Again, thank you so much for joining our show. We have a great show today. It's not, the topic wasn't great. The topic is very sad, but we have to bring it up. We have to have our youth beware of what's going on. Let me introduce our guests. I have two wonderful guests. My first one, his name is Vannarin Puth. He is from Canada. He is actually in Canada. He do speak Khmer, English, and French. So let me welcome him and have him introduce himself, okay? ជំរាបសួរលោកពូ
បាទជំរាបសួរ Linda ជំរាបសួរបាទ
How are you doing?
Very good. Yeah, it's not so bad. The weather, I believe it great. It's not cold, and after in the Midwest, I believe right now in Midwest USA include Calgary, Edmonton, really extremely cold. We talk about minus 40 degrees Celsius in Edmonton. It really. I believe in Midwest United States also it's very cold.
Yeah, we are in the west, so a little warmer than the east and the middle, but it's still cold for us. And also thank you, Lapu, for joining our show. Thank you for always giving your time, so that way too we can talk about what's going on in Cambodia. And I appreciate it that you are here. I could say at least once a month or twice a month as needed. So thank you so much, Lapu.
Okay, no problem. You're welcome.
Let me bring out my second guest. Her name is Sita Arunson. She is in California as well. So she is in Fresno, California. So probably 3-hour drive from me. Let me introduce her, and then she can introduce herself and let us know what's going on with her, okay? ជំរាបសួរបង
ជំរាបសួរ Linda.
How are you?
Good. Cold, but
cold. I know we shouldn't be complaining, but it is cold.
Yes.
It is. Yes, it's cold.
For us, it's cold.
Are you ready for Christmas?
It's just another day for our family. We don't make it a big deal.
Do you celebrate at least the gift giving, the aspect of that?
Yeah, we get together with the families, foods, and some gifts for the kids. But we're not making it a big deal.
Yeah, I have preteen, and I have young kid, like cousin, my nephew and stuff. So they are into Christmas. We don't celebrate Christmas because it's not a religious holiday for us, but we celebrate the spirit of Christmas, the spirit of giving, the spirit of having the kid over, like probably like your family eat, and also open presents. So that's our traditions. And Bong and I live in America. School kid, they know what Christmas is, and they know Santa going to be coming down the chimney and giving presents. So it is what it is. Our kid cannot be wait, get up in the morning, have no present. It wouldn't be fair, while the rest of the kid in America have presents. So that's the spirit that we celebrating. Like I'm Buddhist, so it's something different, but it's something that we have to do. We have to join the celebration. Let me bring out Lupu. Do you celebrate Christmas, Lupu?
In the old days, yes, when we were younger, but now I believe all the family members are getting older, even the children getting older, so we didn't, but just meet together, yes, but the small children still get the gift,
But you just got a new granddaughter.
Yeah. How you know that?
How old is she now?
11 months.
Wow. So this is going to
granddaughter.
be her first Christmas?
Yeah, 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 yeah.
Okay. So what you getting her? Anything,
I
anything
don't
in
know.
the...
My wife bought something, but she didn't say. She didn't tell anything to me. So yeah,
Gonna
Oh,
be
that's...
secret for
yeah, yeah, yeah.
Santa secret.
But she go to see the granddaughter almost every day because my daughter moved close here to here, so almost every day.
Good, good. I'm glad. That's her first his first granddaughter. So, and I'm
Mhm.
what I heard is you gave her the moon.
Yeah. Oh, even the sun.
Even the sun, yes, even the sun, the moon and the sun. So,
Yeah, yeah.
Congratulations, Lupu.
Thank
yes.
you, Sita. Thank you.
Okay, so I know we talked about this many times. December 18 was 1 month and 1 year anniversary of the Naga worker that they got on strike. When they got on strike, it's not just a year; it's been over a year because they have been negotiating, and finally last year they went ahead and they on strike because nothing progressed. Let me play a little bit of video. So that way our audience have not audience, our viewer have an understanding of what's going on, and this is from the perspective of the union leader. Many our audience might not know that she's very active. She's currently in jail for violating her bail. Her bail. She went and traveled to Australia and then came back and got arrested. So we listened to her a little bit on what's going on with Naga and why they've been fighting for over years now. So let me share that, and then we'll have a discussion what's going on.
In 2020, the company make 102 million in net profits, uh, even there's a pandemic, but still they still announcing and lay off the 1,300 worker, which include 1,100 leader and unit member.
What happened after that?
So after they announcing the mass layoff, the union have tried to negotiate and find any other options with the company by not the mass layoff that the company lay off the worker during the pandemic is very bad choice, while we have a lot of other choice, not lay off the worker, but the company still refused to accept our request, and we still continue to file complaint to Ministry of Labor here in Cambodia, and we use all the dispute revolutions procedure and steps, all steps to find solution, but 8 months there's no solution to stop the company from uh, continue the layoff plan, which is target all union leader and member. Then the worker have no choice but to vote for the strike, and they start the strike on December 18 up until now.
After 1,300 workers were laid off in December of 2021, the union called another strike, but this time, 11 of their leaders, including Sita, were violently arrested and imprisoned.
11 of our activists and elected leader were arrested and put and detained, and then few days later me was arrested on January 4 and was detained also for 9 weeks in prison. And even though all the elected leader and activists, the key activists detained in the prison, but the worker are still continue to strike, and they the number is quite strong that the worker is still continue the strike, but sadly that eventually the strike being crushed down by the government using the COVID as an excuse to break down the strike, because they use that there's a COVID law here in Cambodia that stop the worker or the people from gathering. So eventually they use the COVID law to stop the strike and force our member to do the quarantine for like 2 weeks, and some of our member also being charged with the COVID law because they are disobey or go against the COVID.
We will view her video in more detail. That's just a beginning. I would like Bong Sita, you heard a little bit about that. We've been talking about how unfair and how this is about union busting, meaning that can you explain what's going on, why they started in the first place and what they want, and why is it a year later still no resolution? Can you remind our viewer what's going on a little bit? In addition to what's she already said.
Right. The reason behind, so in addition to what she already said, the reason behind all that there's no resolution to all this is because the government, part of the government family, which is Hun San Regime family, own the casino as well. From what news that I read, that so the company having no resolution for the strike worker, the government's supposed to step in and be the committee to mediate the problem, but no, they make it worse. They send people of police and official to arrest those strike workers. They only make things worse. They're not trying to help. So that's why up until now there's no resolution, because the company's not negotiating with them, with the strike worker, and then the government's not helping. So the workers still in a limbo, and they are not getting what they are asking for. It, which is the main thing, was to go back to work and being treated fairly and being paid fairly. So that I think those are the two main reasons that they are asking for. But instead they hire new people who are not in the union, and they are paying less, and so they do not want to negotiate, period. And yeah.
Have you ever been in the union, Bob?
No, I have not, but we know enough. In the United States, union is a big thing for worker, for big companies worker. Yeah, but my company, we don't have a union. We have over 400 staff, but we don't have a union. But we have rights, even though without union, we have rights, and we can go to government, we can go to official, we can, if the company is not negotiating, we have place to go to ask for our help.
I never been in the union, but union usually school teachers in union, medical professionals also in union, and so many of the company in America, many companies in union. So that is mainly to protect worker rights. Lok Pu, have you ever been in a union? Have you worked? I know you retire. Have you worked before in a union?
Yeah, I just retired from a few months ago, but where I worked before for the shop floor people, we have two unions. Yeah, we have one they call shop floor union. But I work for the for the aircraft engine company, Rolls-Royce, the British aircraft engine company. On the shop floor, we have union, and also we have office union also, but not for professional union. Me, I was not in the union. Okay, yeah, and I was engineer, so not in the union. Yeah, and you know, the most of the casino company have union. I know that in Canada, and also the same thing in United States, in Las Vegas, you know, or in the Massachusetts area, also in New Jersey, sorry, in New Jersey. Or most of the casino they have union, you know, and especially in Cambodia, because I heard the union in casino here, it a must, because they are not only protect from the layoff or get a better salary pay, you know, while the company make $100 million, but also to protect the union against all abuse, you know, because the player, when they go there, sometimes they are very compulsive, you know, and the union protect all these women, you know. Sometimes they the player, the compulsive woman player, try to do something on her, on the dealer, and they protect all the dealer. So the union in the casino business, I believe it's a must. Like I say, it's not just protect the against the layoffs, but also protect the living, you know, the daily living. Yeah.
Thank you, Lapu. Yeah, you brought up a good point in the casino. We did witness. I mean, we still witness young women, go out there and strike for the last whole year, and we see pregnant women, we see basically younger women than myself just out there and on strike. And that's what the most important. They asking for worker rights. The make sure it's being protected, because it's very important. Like the Puth said, it's in the casino. People drunk, people lose money, people not happy. Either they are too happy drunk, or they are not happy for losing a lot of money to gambling, and that's wanting to protect, and also to protect, make sure that their work conditions are properly documented, they are working properly. And for us that live in America, we don't have any issue like for our working condition, because it's too standard. We make sure that we take our breaks on time, or take on break what's supposed to be, also have lunch, and then how many break do we allow. And so that is something that in America we have the right as a worker to take how many break. I believe, Sita, you are allowed to speak. You are allowed to take 2 break in for 8 hours, going to work for 8 hours. You are allowed to take 2 breaks and 1 lunch. And that is the law in America. And you are not allowed to skip. You're not allowed to, because the company will get in trouble. And is it the same thing like your company, Sita? Even that's from my company.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, the same. I think the same across the board in any company, maybe except maybe private owned mom and pop store. I don't know about that, but yeah, any company that hire over 20 people or more, they have to obey by the rule, which is like you said, 2 breaks, 15 minutes each within the 5 hour, 4 hour, and then the second half, another 15 minutes breaks and lunch before the 5th hour of the day when you start working. So yeah, that's a general rule across the board. Yeah.
And one the excuse on the layoffs was to save because during COVID the country shut down, or the less people going in to visit Cambodia. Their excuse is it's reasonable to lay off worker, reasonable because it's COVID-19. Lok Po, can you share a little bit of what Naga is doing, what have they been doing since COVID, what they're planning? Because I see a very elaborate plan.
Yeah, first of all, for young people that don't follow much the history of the Naga, the Naga will have the casino. In fact, the business of Naga World was in the Phnom Penh since 1994. It's on the boat because during that time you cannot open casino on the land, so it's only on the sea. So they have the right to open the casino on a boat, but then after that they have the right exclusive on Phnom Penh or on the big city. So and they do very very good business. They start with a one tower they call Naga One, and after that they build another one called Naga Two in 2017. And like Sita said, the company still make a lot of money even during the COVID 2021, the company make a profit, like she said, about 150 million. But even 2020, from document that I do the search, they make even big profit, $500 million profit, net profit over the income of 1.76 billion. It means profit like 30% of the business. A lot for the company that make profit. And I don't know about the rule in Cambodia, how much tax, but I'm pretty sure many of them are on the table and corrupted. I don't think much money go inside in the government. And even that, while they want to lay off 1,300 people, more than 50% of the workforce, they get the permit to build a third complex, and that third complex is a lot. It's big investment. It's 3 point. I believe they said that $3.6 billion, $3.6 billion, and this money, $3.6 billion. I'm pretty sure it's not just the owner, because owner is Malaysian owner, and they said from what I do the search, his name is Chen Lip Kiyong, and he's the number 9 of richest person in the Malaysia. He had only $2.4 billion. So all the money that they make from Cambodia, he becoming the number 9 in Malaysia. And this money, from worker point of view, when the company grow from $100 million owned by the company and now becoming $2.4 billion that the owner have money, they should share to the worker, because the worker have a part for the company succeed. And now they lay off 1,300 people and they build the new complex, cost $3.6 billion, and like a 76 floor tower, And I'm pretty sure the owner don't have this money. I'm pretty sure there are a lot of sources said that it's many part of them from many money, part of big chunk of the money come from family, Hun Sen family, So you cannot lay off people. After that you hire new people and build another building. The history of Naga, I can talk a lot, because a few years ago they want to build a called Chinatown in near Angkor Wat. It's just 500 meters from Angkor Wat. But anyway, the UNESCO don't allow to do that. They stop that. But really, this company grow pretty fast. Why the worker could not get a part of the cake,
Thank you, Lupu. Sita, in America, when we, for example, the worker is negotiating, how much will the government mingling into the business? Usually the worker, the union is dealing with the company directly. In this case, there's no resolutions, and I believe the government is calling both sides to talk, but it doesn't have any resolution. And then now the government is also arresting, intimidating, kicking, and so for the last year, that's all the government's been doing. So how is that can you describe the negotiate situation in America versus in Cambodia?
So in America, if their union worker go on strike, uh, they have leaders just like Sita, the lady who came on and talk. The leader of the union negotiate, try to make negotiation with the company, and then if the strike continue, there's no resolution, months on, then government comes in, but they don't come in and intimidate. They comes in as a mediator to see what they can be the mediator for both sides, not just for the company side, not just for the union side, but to be the middleman for both sides, the union and the companies. But rarely they do that. They, first they would, call on, hey, you need to work it out, things like that. But if the company want to negotiate, there's only a few things. Over here, the resolution for strike, they all the worker want, and it doesn't matter here or anywhere all over the world. They want worker to have fair wage. Usually that's the reason that they go on strike. Fair treatment, fair treatments, because usually, like Lupu mentioned, that because they don't get protection, they have to have union to protect from, not being treated right, from customer and from the employer. So in this case, we can see clearly the company is not treating the workers right. They kick out, they laid off the strike, the union leaders and union people who's in the union, and then after that they hire new people. So that does not make sense. So that goes again everything, that's what union stands for, what's what labor rights stand for. So yeah, for that said, if the company shows some empathy, and positive attitude, and showing that they want to talk, probably would resolve, have resolution already. But I don't think they are willing to do that because of the profit is way outweighs their anything that that the strike worker is asking for. They don't want to budge, and the government, Hun Sen regime, the current Cambodian government, is backing them up. They are not trying to help the union worker. They're not trying to help mediate the negotiation. They are backing up the company to intimidate the people who on strike. They only make it worse.
Let me also remind our viewer that during COVID, there's COVID law, meaning COVID law in America, that's COVID law. So also, you are not supposed to lay off people because that's a protection on COVID law. Regardless, in America, there's COVID law also how people who don't have work, how pay for your mortgage, pay for your food. And that's what happened in Cambodia. They have COVID law where you're not supposed to lay off people. And when people say, oh, you lay off and you should just move on, that's against the law. And when they lay off, they do not get a fair compensations. That's what's going on. When you in a union, when you work for a company, they promise you a certain compensations. So this 1,329 workers got laid off and does not get the compensation that they agreed to, and that's where we at right now. And anything you want to add, Lupu, regarding that?
Yeah, I want to add, about one about the work law. This work law is not just in Canada or in America or in Cambodia, because don't forget Cambodia is they call support a democracy country, and they sign a lot of rule with the United Nations as a country that respect the worker, respect the woman right, respect the children right, so they cannot do that. And again, go back to the same rule. When the same company, you cannot close down because of union strike and open another company, the same owner in another territory or in another province. Like example, in Canada, you cannot close one company, open another company in Canada because of that they want to get out of the union or want to, so and in this case, Naga, they build a third complex. It just beside the Naga 1, Naga 2, Naga 3, that does not make sense at all, and when they have the long dispute like that, don't have an agreement, they should nominate a mediator, and mediator can be come from the civil society, and they should do that. But this in Cambodia, they always use the Ministry of Employment that's supposed to protect the worker, but they just against the worker to protect the company side, so that I want just to add. Thank you.
Also, there's many new outlets that's saying that NACA will refuse to negotiate in good faith with the union.
Yeah.
So if we were talking about, it's like we know every business affected by COVID-19. So every business is how difficulty operating during COVID-19. However, when a casino that making million and million and billion of profit after paying all the water bill and anything pay worker, making all those profit and then lay off their terminated their workers 1,329 of them, and almost 90% of them are leader. They are member, and they are activists of the union. So it's not a form of adjusting their paycheck, their payroll, their profit. It's not adjusting, it's eliminating. They currently they don't have union, eliminating union from their payroll period. So this is attacking. I think they call union busting. That's what we talk about in beginning. So that's the reason why they are fighting. They are fighting to be in the union. They are fighting. And if there's no union, there's nobody representing them. If I go to work for NAGA and something happened to me, nobody will protect me. I don't have a team to protect me. I don't have a union to protect me. I would be by myself against the big corporations. So this is what we're talking about. When we're talking about union, so we're talking about 90% of those people that work in NAGA are women, are young women, and there's no representative. And we need to have somebody representing them. We need to have somebody who have their back and say, you know what, we are there to fight these big corporations. So I just want our viewer to understand why they're fighting in the first place. And Luk Pu also bring up, Bong Sita brought it up. Luk Pu said, they are building NAGA number 3, $3.6 billion. If you are a company and you are suffering, you are affected by COVID-19, why are you building $3.6 billion building? Doesn't make sense. And most of those people that work $200 to $250 a month, that just unspoken for. And I'm actually very fired up on this because it doesn't happen to me. It doesn't happen to Bong Sita, doesn't happen to Luk Pu. But we here looking at it, we see those women protesting every day. And not even that, the government, the regime is not even protecting them. The regime's not even helping. They on the casino side, they are arresting. They're saying they against the law. The way they protest is making a color revolution. So all that. Can
They
you add something about Sita? Can you add something?
Yeah, they said, adding to what you just said, they said that union worker on strike being obstructive to the public. And they, even though they do peaceful walk, march, on the side of the road, they don't have any weapons, holding anything look dangerous. They just hold some paper or sign, and the police officer, the official from the government, push and shove, just like in the picture, throw them in a bus, and just ridiculous. And I also want to add, there's Cambodian, like Lupu mentioned earlier, is part of the world participate in the world labor law labor law, the Fair Labor Standard Act. There's such a thing. 5 things that they are voicing out in that labor act. So one is not to be unfairly dismissed, and this is very clearly unfairly dismissed. The very first things that on that the Fair Labor Standard Act, they unfairly dismiss. 2 is to be treated with dignity and respect. They are not treating with dignity, respect. They're being pushed and shoved, for a peaceful march. To be paid the agreed wage. They agree to a wage, but then they get laid off. And then they hire new people with lower wage. So what does that say? And to be provided with appropriate resource and equipment to enable them to do their jobs. So we heard many things about that they don't get the right to fair health and many other things. That's why those union worker are on strike. They're asking for those resource to help them and help protect their worker. And the last one is to have safe working condition. And we know casino is not a safe working condition. That's why they need the union to protect each other, to protect themselves, to protect each other. So those are the standards for Universal Fair Labor Standard Act. Should every country who participate in the, I don't know, in this thing, Cambodian, which is one of them, claim themselves to be a democratic country, should be respecting these laws, but clearly they are not doing that.
Yeah.
Thank you. Well,
I want to add two small points in there.
go ahead, Lupu.
Okay, yeah, the 2 small points, I believe I just want to clarify about the COVID rule that this regime put them pressure, during 2022, the year 2022, in Cambodia, they already relaxed the COVID rule, They open already the karaoke, they open the restaurant, they open the temple, they open all the ceremony of the wedding, But them for the worker, for the strike, that go to strike, they apply the rule only for these people. Why the other people go to temple, go to ceremony of the wedding? Why the COVID not apply? So that doesn't make sense, because the COVID rule is already relaxed during year 2022. That really what this regime treat these women. And each day when they go to strike, they push them, put in the bus, and they bring them away from in the border of the Phnom Penh, really in the area of there no light, anything, and they just throw them out of the bus. Let's go back to home big way in the midnight. That doesn't make sense. How they abuse these women, and also the striking area. The second point I want to talk. Normally, when they do the strike, they supposed to strike in front of the building where they had a problem. They don't allow them to strike there. They strike away like 100 meters away from that area, and they also put the pressure on all the business, small business around there. Don't allow women go to the toilet, go to the restroom, go to drink the water. That's what I said. It really, this regime, it treat these people really very bad. It worse than animal.
That
Yes.
is clearly human right violation. Definitely human right violation. Just definitely.
Yeah, and if our audience saying, COVID, so it's necessary to lay off, but they forget that they made $102 million that year profit. When we talk about profit, when you pay everything off, 102 million into their pocket, and they still laid off 1,329 workers. I want to play a little bit of video of what we saw earlier to continue on, because we interview a woman right now. She is currently in jail, arrested. I think this is like the second time or the third time she's been in jail, and there are the bogus charges on her for violating her bail. She went overseas to Australia to do a union conference, and when she came back, she got arrested. And it's very unfortunate. A country that have a rule, have a law, have let the country and arrested when she got back. So let me share a little bit of her, because we want to hear about her. We want to hear and we want to see from her perspective that she's working so hard, because she's the leader, and she represents the voice of her people.
For about 5 weeks. I was arrested on January 4, 2022, and the way that I've been arrested is so aggressive and it's horrible. Around tens of big body men just run over me and grab me like they are grabbing some things, not the humans, and then pull me over, put me in the car, and they bring me to the detention center at the police station for one night, and then immediately they bring me to the court for the questions until late evening, and then tomorrow send me back to question again until evening. Then they send me to the prisons. So in the prison for the first 3 weeks, we could not meet anyone, even the family and the lawyer, because they used a COVID law as an excuse for the quarantine. 3 weeks in the prison. So we live in a very crowded rooms, not enough water. Sometimes we have to wait until like 1 or 2 a.m. in the morning so that we can have a shower. And then we have to buy or to cook. We have to buy food from other prisoner. Otherwise, we cannot accept or take it at all. The food providing by the center, by the prisons is horrible food, and very limited access to facility. Things that we have to use daily, like shower, shampoo, blanket or pillow or mattress is almost nothing there, that we have to sleep really on the floor. But we have to expend like 3 or 4 times more than normal price if we want to have that kind of things to use in the prisons. And then after the quarantine 3 weeks, we were put in the cell with other prisoner. So my room with 76 prisoner in the room, and some other colleagues were put in like 150 prisoner in the cell, and it's very crowded. We have very small space for sleep and not enough water the same to use like other prisoner. So it's been very horrible in inside of the prison, and we were being surveillance by the guard, also by the security guard also, that who we talk to. Even though when we meet with the family, when we are allowed to meet the family, there will be always a security guard to stay there and write down and record on whatever we're talking with the family. And they not allow us to talk about work, especially about the strike. The family cannot tell us anything about is what happening outside with the strike, but they just can come and ask me, how are you? That's only the question that we can ask and we talk about.
Today, the government is not even using the COVID law as a basis for their attacks on the workers. Instead, strikers are rounded up, thrown on buses as soon as they show up, and shipped 20 miles outside of the city and forced to find their way back.
The current state of the strike, even though there's no more use of COVID law, which is require our member to quarantine, to quarantine in a dirty, no food and no water.
We just share a little bit of glimpse of what's going on. This is from her perspective. She's the leader of the union. She's a union leader, so she is on the front line negotiating, and as a result of that, she got pounded, she got arrested, she got intimidated, she got thrown. And out of that, it's not even breaking her spirit. She's, like I said, she currently in jail. Do you want to say anything to the regime regarding her in jail, Puth?
Yes,
Last week was what, as we 74th anniversary, going on 75th anniversary of the universal human right. Yes.
I did follow a lot that history, it and what she said here. I believe it's not enough. It's not enough. Even worse than that. The condition about their member when they bring to. When they put them far away from the city, and they put them in the building that no water, no toilet, and all the women, it really very, very sad, very bad. I follow that. There's some video they share that, and really very bad. And again, I believe she's one of the hero in Cambodia. For the people that don't know her curriculum vitae, she's not from poor family. Again, she from a middle family, and she finished the management bachelor degree. In beginning, she worked in Nagawal as in the office. She worked as a management in the management group. But when she found that the way that the company treat the worker, that's why she joined. They just abandoned, quit her job and joined the union member and joined the union. And after that, she become union leader. She sacrificed everything, her wealth, her salary, she's a hero. The way she described here, it really, after the first time in the jail, second time in jail, and she's still very, very, strong. I believe it's not many people like her.
Thank you, Puth. Any last word, Sita, at the end? Anything you would like to say? I know we just want to remind our viewer, after a year later, still no resolutions. A year later, after the company, the regime is not forcing the company to negotiate. The company is not willing to negotiate, and at the same time, the regime is helping the company by arresting them, by saying they trespassing. They throw every single law that they are breaking. So it's unfortunate that the company doesn't break any law, but the 1,329 that got laid off broke all the law in their books.
According to them.
According to
Yeah,
them.
yeah. My last word, I'm pleading to the international community to look into Cambodia government and how they are treating the union leaders, people in general, very inhumane. So please, this is today we talk about unions' right and unions strike for the Naga wall, but the bigger the problem is bigger than just that. The problem is about the government having so much control over the everything, the court system, the police system, the all across the board. There's no justice, no human right for anybody that who are not with their side. So please, the international community, take a good close look at all these problems and do something more. The EBA reduction is not enough. Do something more to put restriction on these government so they can feel some some not pain, but they can have some effect on them, that they can make a change for the better of the people in general. So that's my plea for the international community, for Cambodian community in Cambodia.
Thank you, Bong. Lukpu, any last word or anything you haven't said regarding this one whole year of the Naga workers' strike and there's no resolution?
I believe this regime, the Hun Sen regime, want to attack, to kill the symbol of the good union leader like her, because many of them in the clothes industry, in shoe industry, many union leaders had been bought by the company or bought by the regime, by paying money. And her group, even Naga vote transferred a lot. I heard that in terms of money, a lot, in terms up to more than $50,000 money transferred to her account and her group, and she don't take it, and she had the proof during that time. But it really, they want to buy her, to buy her in corruption way, but she's very strong. And also another one why this regime don't want to fix this work problem, this strike. We know that, like I said minutes ago, without backing of the Hun Sen, I'm pretty sure Hun Sen himself, he doesn't want to fix the problem, because he's owned the company. Where, like I said beginning, to get 3.5 billion, the owner of the Naga World cannot pay to build the new building. And this Hun Sen family, he has so much money. I'm pretty sure they and many sources say that he's part of the investment of Hun Sen family. So that I just want to add. Thank you very much.
Yeah, the Naga company has a gambling license in Cambodia for many, many years. I'm assuming I read it's like until 2065, I believe they have that license to operate in Cambodia. So it's a lot of money, a lot of time, and somebody have to be behind that. The head of state have to be behind that, and the head of state pocket that profit, and so it's directly affecting their pocket. It's directly Naga company, Naga World Corporations is paying them, paying the head of state to make sure that there's no negotiation happen, make sure that I don't think until now we are over years later, I don't see anything that come out that say Naga will violating any law, violating worker rights, violating anything. But in the same time, I keep repeating, those people that go out there protest, the women that go out there and protest every single day, arrest, shove, push, drag, put in a car, dump 20 kilometers away from where they protesting, and just left there. And that is very unfortunate that the regime turn a blind eye, and I guess they turning the blind eye because there's money flowing into their pocket. Thank you so much, Bong and Pu, for joining the show today. I appreciate that, and it's very a good discussion, good topic to talk about, because it's hitting home. Even though you probably don't have any family working, but we all work, we all understand what union, and we all understand how people should be treated right. But in Cambodia, that's not how happening. Cambodia, a country that followed democracy, that follow how human rights, but at the same time does not follow that rule. And people always make comments, why Cambodia always get human rights violations, why other country doesn't? Well, we as Cambodia have a law. Cambodia is follow a democratic country. They have a rule, following democratic, having human rights, and they're not respecting it. That's the reason why we people keep talking about human rights in Cambodia, and the regime violating it. And if I talk, I would never end the show. So thank you so much, Lupu, and thank you, Bong, so much for being here. And I'm looking forward to seeing both next month. And I hope you and your family have a Merry Christmas. And if I didn't see you before New Year's, I hope you have a great New Year's.
Okay, thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you ជំរាបលាលោកពូ
Well, thank you so much for joining our show. We are at the end of our show. Again, my name is Linda Wu, and I appreciate every one of you that stay here and tune into our show. Our topic for today was fighting for more than compensations, fighting for their workers' rights. So thank you for your comment. Thank you for your input for today. And again, today is December 20. In 5 days, we'll have Christmas in America and I guess many part of the world. So Merry Christmas, and hopefully Santa will bring you good news and best present. So hopefully please appreciate what you have. Not many people in the country of Cambodia have what you have. So appreciate your right, appreciate the freedom to talk, the freedom to express your opinion, because in Cambodia it's not something that can be easily expressed. So thank you so much for being here. I hope you have a Merry Christmas. If I didn't see you next week, I hope you have a great New Year, and hope that you learn something from this show. And if you would like any topic for me to talk about, then we'll talk about that. But beside that, I hope you have a great day. I hope you have a good evening wherever you at, and Merry Christmas and a Happy New Year. Thank you.